And raping you since
Leave
you
me
were 12
alone!
years old?
Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my god! It's too damn early for this shit! Leave me alone!
How do you dress like this? What are you...
What part of leave me alone do you not get? What part of leave me alone do you not get? Nobody understands what in the hell is the matter with you, Mr. Perry. What part of leave me the fuck alone don't you get? Soon as I wake up this morning, he types in my phone, I can see you. I'm like, oh my God. How many different ways do I need to say the same thing over and over and over? Listen, everybody's sick and tired of you. Voyeurism, sir, is very, very disturbed. It is not a trophy. You act like you think it's a trophy. Like that's supposed to make me happy. What in the fuck? So he does the same thing to me that guy's doing to her. He just types it in my phone. Get the fuck out of my phone, Mr. Perry. Get the fuck out of my life, Mr. Perry. My guy, sit there and watch what you do in my phone. The other night, I got lost. My GPS was off. I got lost. My guy can rerun whatever. I don't know what they do. He can figure out if you did that, if you were fucking with my GPS, or if the GPS was just off. Get the hell off me. You make me feel raped. I'm not in love with you, sir. You make my skin crawl. How many different ways do I need to say the same fucking thing? I don't like being watched in my house. Get the hell out. Turn the cameras off. Get rid of them. Get out of my phone. I don't think it's cute that you can see me. It's disgusting. When you met me, everything for you guys changed. And you don't get that, do you? You're very, very slow. You're not getting the correlation, the cause and effect. And it is not hard to get. When you mess with me, sir, you get caught. You get told on. More and more and more and more. And all the creepy that you hid, it's not hidden now, is it? You're the one asking me who told. So I'm guessing it's not. Hang on. Do you see this person right here, this man? This is my granddad. He was the chief of police in Roswell, New Mexico. He went through something hard. He believed, as lawmen and women, we're called to relieve suffering caused by crime. I'm quoting him. Relieve suffering. Take the hurt off. Tell people, you're safe now. You're safe now. When someone's in your phone, hacked you, or cloned your phone, or hacked your, Roku, or your baby monitors, or all the whatever people can hack these days, and puts voyeurism cameras in your home and makes you feel raped. Nobody has consent to have a camera in my house. Nobody has consent to have a camera in my home. Get the fuck out, Mr. Perry. So we have a witness that tells us, Mr. Perry, as long as I've known him, travels alone. He will not take his wife with him, Jackie. Nobody knows what the hell he's doing while he's traveling, right? He's not accountable. He's entitled. All the things that traits of a serial killer, you got it. You guys got it, all of you. Grandiose thinking. You think you're something. You think people are just objects that you can use for your sick little game. You have no empathy for what you've done. You don't care about who you hurt. You don't. We know that. We get it. So, my granddad was a lawman, and he believed that lawmen are to relieve suffering caused by crime. He did that with his life. Our witness says Charles travels alone. He has hidden cameras installed in women's homes who are usually single with kids, divorced women. That's his victimology. That's the MO that he prefers. He sees them as vulnerable. He has a seething hatred for women. He was abused as a young child by an older cousin, he tells us. The witness says he will troll women when he's traveling and his wife thinks he's out on business. When he says that, he is. He is out on business. But it's criminal business. It's not legit. He'll have a hidden camera put in their home. He watches for workplace vulnerabilities. He gets them fired. Now they're all upset. Now you had a nice, peaceful, safe, peaceful, happy, productive home turned upside down. Mom just lost her job. Kids need things. She can't buy it now. Charles goes and jacks off, he said. He likes getting women hysterical. So he can go, and I'm quoting, rub one out. Then he hacks them so they can't find another job. He's sitting there watching where they're applying for work. He makes sure they don't find work. Then they lose the house. Then he has the ex take the kids away. He likes, I'm quoting the witness here. Charles Perry, as long as I've known him, enjoys getting women hysterical. He's a sex weirdo. He's a sexual sadist in more professional terms. And he'll go rub one out when he sits there and watches these women in the privacy of their home. Most of them have no idea they're being watched. In the privacy of their home, without their consent, without their knowledge, watching little kids take a bath, and he likes to go rub one out. And not only that, he's selling watch time on the dark web. So this is being broadcast all over the world, all over the internet. God only knows who all saw it and who they reported that to, Mr. Perry. You know, undercovers can get online and look at that shit. And you wouldn't know that's what's happening. You're not all there. You're very slow. So these women are being hurt. These children are being hurt. They've lost mom. They've lost everything. They lost their home. That's not healthy for a child. My child went through that more than once. We had a house in Lubbock. I got behind on the bills because Charles, instead of having the ex take the kids away, he had my parents. He had my parents do that to me with my older son. And it's interesting because I had some back-owed child support coming to me, and they started asking a lot of questions about it. Not only that, but they pulled an article on the internet about Tristan's dad. He has a lot of money. He's got millions of dollars. You need to look on the internet. You're not getting enough in the child support. You need to take him back to court. And I said, look, I don't know about that, and I don't care. What I do know is that he and I worked out an agreement that we're both satisfied with, and I'm not interested in going back to court with him. No, but you need to Google this. He's got a lot of money. Well, I did. I Googled. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? I have no interest in going back to court, but I do want to see what the hell they're talking about. So I Googled something, and up comes an article that is talking about a club he worked for was worth millions of dollars. And the amount that they gave me was the amount that the club was making. They misread the article. They wanted Tristan's child support money. So they took me to court. They got custody of him, thinking they were going to get it. So, while that's happening, I'm spending every penny I have, selling off furniture and everything, trying to pay for that. And a friend of mine calls my landlord and says, I want you to she's been through hell. I am happy to pay the rent for her and get it all caught up and help her pay it from here on out, or at least until she gets on her feet. Please don't kick her out of her house. And the guy said, nope. Fuck you. I didn't have wild parties there. I didn't damage any property. I didn't do anything. So why kick me out when you've got offer for payment? Because that's your bread and butter, right? Unless you're getting an offer higher amount of money to kick me out from Mr. Perry, because that's kind of what he does. And he's proving out our witness, right? So how many families have been blown up by a sex weirdo who is a sadist and gets off hurting people and doesn't give a shit who he hurts or how bad he hurts them? So he was getting away with this for a long time. And tell me, what is it about me that made everything different, Mr. Perry? You don't know that I wasn't sent to Lubbock to catch the bad guy, and you're that bad guy. That someone started complaining to the people that are helping me. They started digging. They said, hey, you're the perfect person. You have a background in law enforcement with your granddad and your dad and your great-granddad, and you're in political. My granddad was the chief of police, and then he was appointed, he ran and won the GOP chairman, Republican chairman of Chaves County. And then he was appointed to the county treasurer's office. And then he ran for county treasurer and won. He finished out someone else's term, then ran and won. And later on, ran for city council and became a city councilman and was a key player in getting the UFO museums there. My granddad would not. He didn't believe in aliens even exist, much less that they landed in Roswell. He made that very clear. Didn't matter. Some people do. It's an area of curiosity. People come from all over the world to look at those museums to see for themselves what they think happened. He was involved in that whole thing too. He's got an affidavit on the Roswell UFO, whatever. I don't know. It was on National Geographic actually. They've read his affidavit on their documentary on the incident. So, you know, you don't know that didn't happen, Mr. Perry, do you, Mr. Robertson, Mr. Powell, Mr. Burson, Mr. Chadwick? You don't know that didn't happen. Because all of a sudden, since you started messing with me, you get caught. When you mess with me, you get caught. When you mess with me, you get caught. When you mess with me, you get caught. And everybody wants to know who told, how'd you find out, how'd you know, how'd you find out. But you're not putting it together still. When you mess with me, you get caught. It's an easy cause and effect that anybody could spot at this point. The McNamara email was the first that I was allowed to say something, and that was in 2015, Mr. Perry, and it has been every day since, and you still are not getting the cause and effect. When you mess with me, sir, you get caught. Why is that? What is your IQ? Because 6 years into this, you don't have a date. You're never going to get a date with me. You're not good enough. You're not even close. I'm way out of your league, sir. Way the hell out of your league. So, when you mess with me, you get caught. And then you're asking who told. Then you mess with me again, and then you get caught again, and then you want to know who told. And then you mess with me again, and then again, you get caught, and then you want to know who told. And it is this way every day, and it has been since 2015. And you're still not putting it together in your head. The correlation, the cause and effect. When you mess with me, you get caught. When I'm broke, my guys get pissed off. When my bank account's overdrawn, when I can't pay my bills, oh my God, they get mad. And they go at you. Because I'm not supposed to be broke, am I? When you type in my phone, I can see you, and you're still peeping. My guys go ape shit on you, Charles. You were told to get the fuck out of my life, weren't you? My part is done in this. You were told to fuck off. Right? The other part of, whatever part, the bait part is done. We're in court now. Now they're just watching to see if you do something else illegal in court. That's my part now. You are not to be invading my privacy. You're not to be in my phone. You're not to be watching me in the privacy of my home. You're not to be doing that. We're in court. You sit there and watch me type up a brief. You call the judge before I ever file it and figure out how you're going to get it denied. We know that. You've been recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded. And I don't even say all the stuff that we have. I don't. Sometimes we want to let you do what you do. Here's your shovel, dig away. You guys are not the brightest bulbs. You do it every time. It's so easy, it's not even fair. I come from law enforcement. All my life I'm raised by police. 3 generations of police. I'm going to explain something to you. I don't know all the police out there, but that's my family. You fuck with them, you fucked with me, and you're going to wish you hadn't done that. And with Mike Neely, you guys never expected us to look into that, did you? You never expected us to look into that, did you? And we did. So you fucked with me, and we get the Mike Neely was drugged email. You fucked with me, and we get the McNamara email. You fucked with me, and we get the ringtone email. Like 100 of them. You fucked with me, and then you get the, where's she gonna live when we get her kicked out of her house email. Well, you fucked with me, and we got all kinds of recordings. If you call in Lynn and Kathy, don't give her inheritance money. We want her broke. We gotta subjugate her. We like to witness tamper. We like to victim tamper. So you do it. You stick your hand in that fire, you get burned. You stick your hand back in that fire, you get burned again. You stick your hand back in that fire, you get burned again. And yet you keep sticking your hand in the fire. And we're all like, so easy, it's not even fair. What in the hell? These are not the brightest bulbs. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Charles, you'd be in jail if they weren't after your partners and some of your investors. See, what happens is, sometimes you got a drug dealer, let's say, for example. You should watch the TV show Deep Cover. It's hosted by Joe Bastone. Just watch it. That's all I'm going to say. Sting ops can go years. You watch that and you figure it out on your own. You're so smart, you think. Don't you? You think you're smart, don't you? But this time you keep getting caught, and you keep getting told on, and you keep getting caught, and you keep getting told on, and you keep getting caught, and you keep getting told on, and you don't have a cover-up, and you're fucking never getting a date. You're not good enough. I don't do sex, weirdo, and I for sure don't do stupid. To ride this ride, you got to get it after the first time it's said. I don't repeat myself, or you don't ride the ride. And you for sure shit can't be a sex weirdo. And for sure, a cop killer. Do you understand English, sir? Do you understand grown-up words that I'm saying to you? You really need to start keeping up with everybody else. Your peeping is offensive. That's why it's a crime, dumbass. It's not a trophy. It's not sexy. You're not a stud muffin because you got a peeping Tom problem. You're pathetic. You're disturbed and you're pathetic. A 1-year-old little girl can sit around all day on their butt and watch TV and pretend. That's the best you'll ever be, isn't it? While the hot guys are out working, making a difference in the world. You're not. You're sitting there acting like we're so tired of you. I don't think you understand. We're tired of you. So my granddad went through something. Oh, let me do the disclaimer. Use allegedly. Apply the but for and the reasonable person standard. But for Mr. Perry harassing and violating in every ugly, disturbed way imaginable. Contacting me over and over after I've asked him to stop contacting me. Invading my privacy after I've made it very clear I don't consent. Get the fuck out and don't bother me anymore. But for that, we wouldn't do the podcast. Wouldn't need to. Any reasonable person is going to do what they need to do to protect themselves from a criminal, are they not? Documenting. That's what this is for, sir. Nobody has the right to take that away from me. Nobody. And if they do, I promise you they'll wish they hadn't done that. The thing is, I shouldn't have to do this to begin with, should I? But anybody that would make me unsafe, my guys will deal with it. And it won't be funny. Leave me the fuck alone. Go do normal things normal people do, then you won't need a lie, will you? And nobody owes you a lie. Nobody owes you a romance, sir. Nobody owes you a romance. That's what that thing said. On TikTok girl, he's got Neil, the TikTok stalker Neil, after her. And the person watching it said she doesn't owe him anything. He owes her dignity and respect that when she says leave me alone one time, he leaves her alone. One time, sir, is all that should have to be said. Nobody that has to have me say it twice gets to ride this ride. You're not good enough. You can't keep up. So my granddad goes through something where there's a man coming into his building having an affair with the dispatcher. He tells the guy, actually, this was a friend of his. The guy and the guy's wife would hang out with my grandparents. They were friends. The guy starts having an affair with a dispatcher. He's a city councilman. My granddad's the chief of police. My granddad takes him in his office and says, I think you need to cut that out. First of all, we have police business here, and you're interrupting police business. Please stop. Reasonable request, don't you think? Keep your pants zipped up. You're a married man. You're a married man, and you're interfering with police business. Mr. Perry, you and I are not a couple, sir. We're not married. We're not a couple. He starts typing in my computer. You're married to me. No. You're delusional. You're making a fool of yourself. There was never a wedding. I didn't consent to that. And you will stop saying such things. Stop. Cease and desist right now. We're not a couple. We're not even friends. Get the hell out of my life. Mr. Warman, your client is never again to tell himself or anybody else that he and I are in a romance or that we're married or anything like that. You stop that now. We're not. I said no. I've said no for a decade. Do you understand, Charles? No. You make me feel raped. Get off me. You don't have a choice. It is the law. Get off me. Stop with this delusion of yours. It is ridiculous. My granddad told the guy, cut it out. Well, the guy's on the city council. What he did is and again, I'm sorry for the interruptions. Mr. Perry likes to type in my computer when I'm doing these. It's recorded, by the way. He should know, but for peeping and hacking, he wouldn't know what I'm doing right now. It's recorded. This is not live. When I start screaming and yelling like that, he'll stop. So he can clearly hear me. I probably hot mic'd my phone. That's what I've been told, is that he's cloned your phone and he can hear. He's a hot mic'd it. So, anyways, what happens is the guy forms a committee within the city council to take over the police department. He went after my granddad and just smeared him and slandered him. My grandmother showed me all the newspaper articles. There was a lot of them. And I mean, it was a war and you could see it. I could see the stress on my granddad's face. He didn't tell me about it then because I was just little. I think I was like maybe 9 or 10. I wasn't very old. And we knew something was wrong, but we didn't know what. You could see it on his face. He was not himself. He ends up quitting, and he resigns from the police department and went on to do other things with his political career. But at the end of the day, he did the right thing. He didn't apologize to anybody. He didn't make a bunch of phone calls and say, what do you think I should do? Because if you do that, you're not leading, you're following. And my granddad was a leader, a community leader in Roswell. He was the power in the town where I grew up. So I grew up like this. We had to behave a certain way with the chief's grandkids. Don't you think that's expected? Wouldn't that be expected? We're used to interacting with dignitaries on a daily basis from the day of my birth. There were judges at our house all the time. There were police at our house all the time. There's elected officials at our house all the time. We were just around it. I just grew up in it. It was no big deal. Mr. Perry gets starstruck by that, I guess. He's just a little podunk nobody to me. Because I'm used to being around people like Harry Reid, and Senator Harry Reid was a majority leader in the United States Senate. By the way, he's not near the liberal the news media made him out to be. Nevada would be all confused sometimes. I like Fox News, I really do. But when I'm watching it and I'm hearing them describe Harry Reid, I'm a little confused. They're taking snippets of what he says out of context for sure. Because the Harry Reid that we knew in Nevada was not the Harry Reid we saw on Fox News. Harry Reid of Nevada is a Mormon and pro-life and pro-gun rights. A lot of people don't know that. He was portrayed a whole different way on Fox News. And I as much as I like Fox News, I wish they hadn't done that, but they did. Then we have Senator Ensign here. Do you think podunk nobody, dog catcher Perry in small town Lubbock, Texas, who has a district 3% of the size of Texas, 3% of the state of Texas, do you think that matters to me at all? Fuck no. Do you think growing up in the home of an elected official, if I needed something, there's 100 people I can call before you ever ran for office, Mr. Perry? Still waiting for you to explain the political vendetta you alleged in a court of law under oath. Did you imagine it? Like you imagine we're in a romance? It's a peeping Tom thing, sir. It's a crime, not a date. You're disgusting people with it. When you met me, you started getting caught. Get the cause and effect, please. You need to keep up with everybody else. When you peep on me, when you mess with me, when you hack me, when you think you got to say what you think, you get caught and told on and caught and told on. And for 10 years, you're a reject. And that is the best you can do. And we're all sick of you. We're sick and tired of you. Stop. Please leave me alone, sir. I don't owe you anything, any more than that little girl owes TikTok stalker Neil anything. She didn't owe him her time. She didn't owe him a conversation. He's breaking the law. So are you. You annoy just like him. You're pathetic as much as he is. Stop it. You're worse. You're hacking. You're peeping. You're violating me. Stop. Today. Now. Get out of my wallet. Stop it today. Now. Or don't complain when you get told on. I want to know, how did she find out? Fuck you. You had it coming. You were told to leave me alone. That's all you were asked to do. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't feel what you feel. I don't feel it. You make my skin crawl. You make me want to barf. Shut up and get out of my life. Shut the fuck up and get away from me. You don't know who I am. You don't know who I know. You have no idea what you're dealing with. I'm not going to tell you I want you gone. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life being tormented by some fool who can't just go be normal like the rest of us. This was what happened to my granddad. Because he did the right thing. Because it was the right thing to do. He didn't ask anybody's permission. Didn't need to. He took a stand for what he believed was right. He stood by it. He didn't call around and ask what everybody else thought. That's not leadership, that's following. His name is on the front door of that police department to this day. He was honored. Guess what everybody thinks a bit of the other guy? Nobody remembers his fucking name. No one cares. He's a nothing. He's a pathetic nothing. He thought he was going to bully my granddad. It didn't work out for him. My granddad was honored. Before men. In the town where he was the chief. And when he died, my granny got, she said, about 200 some letters from a town of people. The town is about 50,000 people. About the size of Sapulpa, Oklahoma, I guess. 50,000 people. Over 200 letters. Thanking her and him for his service and relieving their suffering. And telling them, today you're safe. You're safe. Taking the hurt off. We caught the bad guy and he will not hurt you ever again. So I'm raised in that kind of thinking. I know you hurt a lot of people, Charles, Dave, Josh, Joe, Matt, and you don't give a fuck about it, do you? People are just objects for your sick little game. We've noticed it. We noticed they hurt. We noticed what you're putting them through. And we have put a stop to it like nobody you know. And you guys call on every police department all around, is it you? Is it you? Is it you? You're fucking making me a legend. I'm not fine. Call all you want. We think it's hysterical. This is the inside of that police department. There's an entire wall with his name on it. Look at it. His name is right here. L.M. Hall was my granddad. I'm very, very proud of the legacy that he left us. Because he did things that was the right thing to do even when it was not easy. It wasn't easy seeing all this shit splat in the newspaper. The way that man did him. Having his police department taken over by a man who could not even control himself to keep his pants zipped up. I mean, can you imagine? But he was honored at the end of the day, wasn't he? No one knows who that other guy's name isn't there. My granddad's name is there. And I'm very proud of him. Very proud of the legacy that he left us. And if you think I'm going to sell that out for some pathetic nobody like Charles Perry, you're off your nut. There's no way. He thinks that if he stars me enough, if he harasses me enough, if he causes enough problems and drama for me enough, that I'll go, oh, okay, now I want you. Fuck you. You're crazy. You need to be in a butterfly net. I mean, golly, you're pissing everybody off, sir. You do not understand. When something is illegal, that means people don't like it when you do that. Duh. You need to keep up with everybody else. You're very slow. My granddad was also written about in this magazine. Startling detective. He solved that murder. Him and my papa. That's my papa right there on the right-hand side. He was a captain of detectives. What his thing was... This was a long time ago. It's a very common phrase now. It's a very common phrase said now, but back then it wasn't. At every crime scene, the bad guy's going to take something with him or leave something behind. Nobody gets it all. Find what that is, and you got your bad guy. He was a detective. They solved that crime. That's my granddad on the right. Very proud of my granddad. We don't kiss the ass of criminals, Charles. I'm not going to be your bitch, your Sheriff Rowan bitch. You're not good enough for me. You're not. You're fucking, yeah, God. I have no words. I have no words. So, also, my granddad, here's his, where he ran for county treasurer. There's my papa. Look, he looks all gumshoe, doesn't he? This is that affidavit, I think. Yeah, here's the affidavit. It's right here. The Roswell incident. So, there's that. Anybody can look at it. So this was my life before Mr. Perry ripped it into shreds. I was around elected officials all the time. All the fucking time. You're a nothing, Mr. Perry. You're a nobody. This is the main thing that my granddad said that I appreciate. That was, see if I can... Nope, that's not it. He's got something in here about having his bosses in the... See if I can... There it is. In the treasurer's office, under my administration, has always operated with an open to the public policy or basis, he says. All too often, government seems to forget that its job is just to serve. Remember I said power is in service. This quote right here, that's what he believed. Government forgets that its job is to serve the public. And he made sure that that didn't happen when he was a county treasurer, not in that office, not when he was a police chief. Power's in serving other people. Not being a little pathetic little bitch who wants his way. I can't get the date, so I'm going to force myself on her. Where's Jackie when you're forcing yourself on me? When you're sitting around and your fat, lazy ass perverting around, making trouble in Oklahoma? Where's your wife, Mr. Perry? She better start hanging out with you more, because you're going to need an alibi and you're not going to have one. You don't mean anything to me. I mean, I don't even... Like I said, I don't have words sometimes for what Mr. Perry does. So we got, like I said, Mr. Perry bothers me. What ends up happening is we get something like that. It's not legal, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. That was recorded, Mr. Perry, after you decided to fuck with me. And then all this stuff happened to my car. And the same thing with the McNamara email, Mr. Perry, which you did some variation of that. You always want to know who told, right? And the harassment email. Everybody in this one actually came around the jail. You pissed off everybody in there. They told me what you were going to do. They're going to send you home. They're going to make you think that they're going to leave you alone, and they're not. They're going to harass the hell out of you. Get rid of your phone. He's going to tweet from your phone. He's cloned it. So get rid of your phone. Look, I'm having this whole conversation. They mentioned Flexi Spy and all this stuff to me. And then when you complain about it, they're going to say you're harassing them. That was about the time Justice Scalia died, right when they were planning that. And he died in West Texas, right when that was being planned. Justice Scalia was a proponent of the free speech, of the First Amendment. Flag burning, he said, is protected speech under the First Amendment. So Mr. Perry wanted to go into the highest court in the land and commit fraud. He did do it in the civil case. He did do exactly what this email says in the civil case in Lubbock. And if you notice, the Lubbock judge never gives reasons for his decisions. It's always just deny, dismiss. And he never gives a reason. There's no case the president cited. There's nothing. Because he and Charles go hunting together, and that's where the orders are decided. That's his courtroom. It's not a fair court in a court of law where we're all parties are participating. Remember, I'm the plaintiff. I have the burden of proof, and I'm not allowed in the courtroom. Never met Judge Cummings. Never went in his courtroom. I wasn't invited. It's my lawsuit. I'm not allowed in my own lawsuit. I have the burden of proof. And these guys think nobody will suspect a thing. They're that stupid. They're that stupid. We'll do this and nobody will suspect a thing. Guess what? Not what happened, Mr. Perry. Not what happened at all. I'm not even going to tell you what happened. You're smart, imagine it, okay? You like imagining your own reality, so I'll let you imagine, okay? What happened with people not suspecting a thing. You guys are something. Okay, who told on me? Oh, that's, Charles' favorite thing to say. So, sure enough, I get home. I disconnected my phone immediately. It was the first thing I did. And I had left the phone in the back bedroom. Everybody ate dinner. The rest of my family went out to they went out to another building way far away. Dennis and I decided to go into Manford and get food. We wanted a snack. We're driving around in Manford, Wasn't sure where we were going to stop, so I end up turning right from the left lane, and I get pulled over, and they're like, why did you do that? And I'm like, I wasn't sure I was gonna, it was kind of a last minute. Oh, okay, let's go here. I think a lot of things that we wanted to go do in Manford were closed already. We're still a little bit Vegas in that we're used to things being open till like 11 or midnight or all night long or whatever. And here you go to Manford and everything closes at the crack of the sundown. It's, like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So we weren't really used to things closing so early. So I think it was like we were trying to figure out what was open and what was not open. And anyways, it was like I got to the intersection and I think my sign was like, oh shit, that's open at the Jiffy Trip. So it was like, oh. And so I turned. Anyways, so I was actually being pulled over when these texts were sent. Do you see that? The date? It was Saturday, April 9th, because that's the April 10th, and this is said yesterday at 8:48. Remember I said everything closes at like 8. We're looking for some open to get a snack. Yep. And so the guy, Charles, is texting from my phone, thinking not realizing it was disconnected. Nanny, noo, caught ya. So, anyways, so we got these emails, Mr. Perry, after you fucked with me. And you too, David. Get your hand out of my wallet. Motherfucker, get your hand out of my wallet. My guys are all over you today for that reason. Get your hands out of my wallet. There's a thing they're going to go after you. Harassment of my witness. The act is grand larceny with intent to coerce. I've told you guys this over and over and over and over and over. They can get you on harassment on my witness, fraud upon a court. I'd like you guys to see how that looks for you. Fraud upon a court. You got like 6 of them. Don't ya? Oh, boy. What happens when you mess with people you shouldn't be messing with? Sad little maniacs with nothing to define you but your sad little crimes. And when I mentioned Sheriff Rowan earlier, I'm not going to play this now, but it's discussed in this movie, this TV show, Clarice. This is my favorite show ever. Clarice, it's a continuation of The Silence of the Lambs, but she gets a bad guy who is sexually exploiting women and children. And he says he's taking care of them. Nope, he's not taking care of them. They're making him money. They're taking care of him. Actually, it's how that works. So he's got, she's basically saying, other men in my life have power. You don't have power. And he's kind of, yeah, no, I bought the sheriff. He's my bitch. How would you like to be the bitch of a sex pervert? And that's the best you can do in your career in law enforcement. Holy crap, that's the legacy you leave for your kids. Not what my granddad did. Not what my granddad did at all. I was taught right. Thank you, Lord. I'm going to say something. When you guys, when anybody, not you guys, but anybody has a bad day, you have shitty things happen, and you're just like, you're upset. This happened and that happened and you're having a shitty day and blah, blah, blah. You should try to live 5 minutes in my life. You would die. I swear. You would die. 1 minute somebody's trying to take your car. The next minute they're trying to frame you for a murder. The next minute they're trying to frame you for a jewelry something. The next minute, they're trying to, try find something to put her back in jail. She's talking too much about what we're doing in our secret lives we don't want anybody to know about. The next minute they're trying to figure out my murder. The next minute, how can we kill her and get away with it and make it look like it not linked to us? How can we smear her? She keeps catching our crime. Oh shit, she's Chief Hall's granddaughter. Then the next thing is, a policeman comes to help you, and the next thing you know, he's 6 days later, you're getting a bang on your front door. He's dead. He's been murdered. Yeah, that has a lot of cops very upset, as of course it would. Why would it not? Because when you're a threat to one, you're a threat to all. What's to keep you from doing it again? Except that I did Sherlock that case. I did get on that. I did expose you. And so next time you try to do something like that, God forbid, it's going to be harder for you to get away with it, because I did the reasonable person thing and went, oh gee, that doesn't look right. I just filed a police report on these guys. Had it been investigated, you'd have been charged with perjury, wouldn't you have? Because you just had gone into a court of law and said, we're not doing what she said. I wasn't there in that one either, was I? Fraud upon a court. Harassment of my witness. The act is fraud upon a court. You were taking my money, too. Lucky was mad. Chief Miller was mad. He told me he was. He was asking questions about that delusional marriage you got in your head, Charles. The one you're making a fool out of yourself with. You are not good enough for me. We're not friends. We're not even friends. My goal is you're in jail. And there's no more suffering. And there's no more hardship. And there's no more sexual exploitation of women and children. And there's no more anything. Murder. Murder in the first degree. No more of that. You're gone. Nobody has done more to do that, to accomplish that goal, Mr. Perry, than me. Chief Hall's granddaughter, Cynthia Ortiz. That's me. You want to take this recording into a court of law and claim that you're a victim of harassment? Be my guest. I dare you. Be my guest. So, the next thing that happened, I'm sorry, not the next thing, the first thing. This email right here came from people in Lubbock, Mr. Perry. McNamara email, we call this. It was dated October 29th, 2015. The first time I'm telling my family members, this was a particular one, went to my ex-husband. He's trying to arrange a false arrest. Not only of me, but my son. He did. He did arrange the false arrest of me. He did obstruct justice. I'm being poisoned. Mr. Powell made zero effort to preserve the evidence of me being poisoned. This would have been an attempted murder charge, had I been able to get my evidence. But they, by physical force, prevented and delayed me from being tested because they knew I was being poisoned. Because I promise you, had they not been poisoning me, they would have had me tested. They would have had a big old press conference and bragged and whined and drama queen. We're victims. She lied. See, we got her tested. There's nothing in her blood. She's just picking on us. But that's not what happened. I filed a police report on the 21st. Not even a week later, I'm charged with filing a false police report in retaliation for a public servant doing his job. And I'm charged in Lubbock. All this stuff happened in Oklahoma because I had been long gone from Lubbock for 2 years. I left to get away from a maniac. A sad little maniac with nothing to define him but his sad little crime. He has no power and no impact. That's the best he'll ever be. That is the best you will ever be, sir. Not good enough for me. So, they obstructed justice because this is when I got the call back from TPD, where the crime occurred, Tulsa, not Lubbock. And again, we're waiting for that political vendetta. What was the issue? When I'm pissed off, everybody knows it. Everybody knows I'm pissed off. They know exactly how pissed off I am. And they know, why. Because I'm very vocal with what I think. I'm raised in the home of a politician. I'm raised in the home of a police chief. I'm raised in the home of one that believes that we have a government for the people, by the people. So believe me, when I'm pissed about something, I have no problem telling you exactly why I'm pissed, what I'm pissed about, and just how pissed off I am. Kind of like these podcasts. Right? You can't make any changes if you don't talk about what it is you want changed, can you? Did you think I was psychically sending you some secret message in your delusion world, Mr. Perry? Did you imagine your political vendetta, or did you just lie? We're still waiting for the answer. Because we can't speak to your intent. You're going to have to do that. So you do need to do that. Sooner rather than later. I understand you're still trying to figure out what... you're still trying to hunt something down. There's not one. There never was. And you knew that. You went into court and you lied. You obstructed justice. You destroyed my evidence of first-degree murder. Attempted. I didn't die. Wasn't my day. I'm speaking for victims right now, and that's why it wasn't my day. That was God's plan, Mr. Perry. You like fucking with God, too? He doesn't think it's cute what you're doing to people. You either, David, you either, Mr. Powell, you either, Mr. Burson, you either, Mr. Chadwick. There is a God, whether you want to believe that or not. He doesn't think it's cute when you make other people suffer. Would you let people make your kids suffer, and you just sit back and watch and do nothing? Or would you not kick their ass? Do what you do. God makes people's paths cross at a right time. That's when I met these guys helping me. God made our paths cross at just the right time. I have just the right mix. Like when you're baking a cake and you put just enough cocoa or cacao, I think they call it now. Just enough flour, just enough sugar, just enough baking soda, and you mix it all together and you got this great cake. Okay, well, for just the time as this, I'm raised in the home of law enforcement, and I'm raised in the home of a politician. So I have the perfect mix for this, because you're a crooked little shit. You're a crooked little shit. And it took somebody with political background to be able to get close enough to you to catch this bad guy and put a stop to what you were doing. It doesn't get any easier than when the bad guy comes right to you. You guys are something else. So they dismissed the charges in my favor. Didn't preserve shit. That is the law. You don't put somebody in jail unless you anticipate trial and a win at trial. And if you don't preserve any evidence, you have no intention of going to trial. And it was as false arrest as it gets. And you wasted taxpayer dollars to do that to somebody, to subjugate a witness and a victim of crime. You do not get to do that. Not this time. Not this time. I said that like 6 years ago. You thought I was kidding, didn't ya? Guys that got me that in jail, Mr. Perry, they're pissed at you and David Robertson today like a motherfucker. You were told to get the hell out of my home. You're breaking the law. Mr. Robertson, get out of my wallet. You're breaking the law. So, there's all that. And these are a lot of the things that we've said before. Because you didn't have me arrested till January. And the McNamara email is dated October 29, 2015. Okay, the other significant one would be Officer Neely. We're all pissed at you for that too, by the way. Like a motherfucker. You hit a cop. That's our family. Whether we know the guy or not. You hit our family. We're kicking your ass hard as we can. He's going home. Do you understand? Write it down. What did I say 6 years ago, Mr. Perry? You won't get away with it this time. Did I not say that? And now what is the question you asked me the most? Who told on me? Who's telling on me? So write it down. Mr. Neely is going to go home. And you're going to leave him alone. Do you understand? Write it down. I'm not kidding you. The Fabian puzzle, the guys that got me that in jail, you got to answer to them. You got to answer to them. Nobody else matters. I promise you. I know you think they do. Nobody matters but those guys. They have the power. They got me the McNamara email. They got me the Fabian puzzle. And guess what else they got me? They got me something pretty fucking significant in this. Actually, let me... Right here. The Mike was drugged email. In March 2020. And depositions were not taken until May 2020. 2 months after that. 2 months after that. Those depositions were taken. Right? It's in this video here. That was it. It's in this video right here. But there's also a picture of it somewhere. Right, Mr. Perry? We're all mad right now. We are pissed. This guy is accused of beating a man to death, and yet he has nothing on him. Not a mark on him. He would have, had he beaten someone to death, broken knuckles, bruising, his hands would be black and blue and all cut up. And the arrest report says he had nothing on the left hand at all. Just a red, swollen right hand. Can't beat a guy to death with one hand. And might it be swollen because there's an IV in it? Detective Fife? Right, okay. So, let me find that. I think it's right here. March 2nd. Down here at the bottom, I'm telling him he wasn't given a full tox panel. Wasn't given a full tox panel. Right here at the very bottom. Officer Neely also required a full tox panel to see what all was in his body that caused him to be in the state he was found in, unconscious. Right. Okay. So, how did I know that beforehand, Mr. Perry? To ask that. We knew he was drugged. I'm telling the guy, he was drugged. He was drugged. He was given a full tox panel at the hospital, but not when he was found unconscious. Who gave him that? Can you imagine? I'm going to tell you something. Imagine this is you, Captain Gimpy, because you gotta. I'm not. This is not a threat. Please, in the name of God, don't take it as a threat. This is an attempt to get some empathy, relate to what Officer Neely's going through right now, because he's your brother. He's your family, law enforcement family. Okay, so you go to a police conference after apparently they've been coaxed. You go to a police conference. See, these depositions, they never asked me, how did you know he hadn't been given a full tox panel? How did you know he was drugged? They never asked me that question, and I was waiting. See, I don't always, when I'm doing a sting op, I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to give out information. I want you to give it to me. I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to let you talk. So that deposition that is right here, I didn't offer up the fact that I knew Officer Neely was drugged because I sent it in email, first of all, or that I knew he hadn't been tested prior to being given Narcan. The who, what, when, where, how. He's found unconscious. He has nothing on him, not a mark. Okay, so Captain Gimpy, imagine you go to a police conference to try to learn how to be a better cop. You have somebody in your room, a guest, and you sit down on a bed, you take one sip, or maybe two, and your entire life is turned upside down with one or two sips, never to be the same again. That is what Officer Neely's going through right now. He went to a police conference to learn how to be a better cop. He has somebody in his room that he believes to be a friend because there's no forced entry in that room. He's with his best friend and his boss, and there's someone else in that room too. And he sits down on the bed and he takes a sip. And the next thing he knows, he's waking up in the hospital handcuffed to a hospital bed, being told, you killed your best friend. And he's looking at his body going, I'm not seeing it. He says it in the interview that was all over the news. I can't believe you. My best friend is dead. My boss is dead. And you think I did it? And I don't have anything on me? Nothing. I'm a cop. I know that if you're going to beat someone to death, there would be evidence of that to corroborate that belief, to substantiate that belief that there was a fight and I was in it. Not only was I in it, but when I was in it, I killed someone. But I'm looking at my body and I'm not seeing anything. He sat down and he took one sip, or maybe two, and that was it. His life is over. That fast. 30 seconds. And now he's sitting in a prison, accused of a murder he could not have done. There's no way. There's no way he could have done it. And that deposition made us go like that. It was that stupid. The things that were said to me in that deposition were that stupid that we're going, the fuck? How much did they get paid? I don't say things. I mean, that was the comment. She had plenty of opportunity to tell Gene Mitchell and Travis Myers in her deposition how she knew Mike was drugged. Nope. That's not how I roll. Nor should it be. Their job is to ask me. And when they're not asking me, they're asking me about my emails. Not relevant here. How many emails I sent, what email address, on and on and on. Not relevant. My emails were not the problem. The problem is you have an innocent man in jail for murder he couldn't have done. And that's what I came to speak to. And they didn't ask me the pertinent questions. I'm on the sting up right now. I'm going to let them talk. I know that they thought they were letting me talk, but that's not how that worked. Because when somebody's interested in their job, and at this point, their job isn't to worry about my emails. Their job is to get to the bottom of who murdered Chief Miller and why. And none of the questions pertinent to that were asked of me. What was asked of me is my emails. Not their crime. If that's because Mr. Perry alleges that's a crime. That when I tell on him, remember the harassment email? When I tell on him, he's a victim of a crime because he got told on. Drama queen, drama queen, drama queen, drama queen. And nobody feels sorry for you, Mr. Perry. It's not that hard to get information. It gets easier by the day. Every day that Mr. Neely's in jail, every day that you're in my home peeping and hacking, every day that you contact me when I've asked you to stop, every day that I'm broke because you're taking my money, things don't go well for you. And it's very easy to get information as to what you're trying to do next. To hurt me. It gets easier and easier and easier and easier because people are getting sick and tired of it. And they're pissed that you won't just fuck off and leave me alone. And you cause so much harm and you cause so much hardship and you don't give a fuck who you hurt or how bad you hurt them. And whoever of you guys is the Sheriff Rowan in this, the best you can do is to be the bitch of a sex perv? Wow. Think about what that passes on to your children. Everybody passes something on to your children, whether you mean to or not. Whether you like it or not, you're going to pass something on to your kids. My granddad passed something on to me, and it was something I'm proud of. And I would hope that you'd want your kids and grandkids to be as proud of you as I am of my granddad. Because I'll tell you what, nobody impresses me more than my granddad. In the way that he conducted business in law enforcement, in the way that he conducted business as an elected official, in the way that he conducted business as my granddad. Nobody means more to me. Nobody impressed me more than him. And the bar is high, as you can see. It's very high. And I'll tell you something, Mr. Perry. Nobody in my entire life has had things said to them more than once. Maybe twice. But you have to have it said over and over and over, and you're not getting it. When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get caught. There's you fucked with me, you got the McNamara email. You fucked with me again, you got the harassment email. You fucked with me again, we got the Mike was drugged email. You fucked with me again, we got the car email. I'm gonna take her car. You fucked with me again, we got the ringtone email. You fucked with, and all of these emails came from a recording. You fucked with me again. We got the where's she gonna live when we get her finally kicked out of her home. You fucked with me again, and we got another one about something. Dave is like, we got to get her car away from her, and the guy was like, yeah, she can walk to work. So over and over and over, I've quoted you, and you keep asking me who told, but you're not getting the cause and effect. The cause and effect. The cause and effect. A 2-year-old can get it. When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, I'm quoting you verbatim over and over and over and over and over. Because I said, get the fuck off me and don't bother me again. Do not peep, do not hack. Do not go into court and lie. Do not commit a fraud in a court again. Do not leave Mr. Neely sitting in jail one more day for something you did. Figure something out, but get him home and get your fucking hands out of my wallet. You don't have a choice. When you fuck with me, you get caught. It's cause and effect. It's been that way for 6 years. A 2-year-old could spot the pattern at this point. Leave me the fuck alone. Get out. Mr. Perry, I can't stand you. I don't feel whatever imaginary thing you've got in your head. I don't feel it. It's not there for me. You mean nothing to me. You're a bad guy I want to see put away. And that's it. Because I want to be able to tell people, these people, these victims you refer to when you're asking me about this, you're safe now. I want to be able to tell Mr. Neely and his wife and his son, you guys are safe now. We got the bad guy and you won't hurt anymore. It's finally over. It's finally over, and I'm sorry for what you've been through. I'm sorry for what you've been through. We're going to rebuild now. We're going to rebuild it. We've got your back. We always had your back. And you're safe. Now you're safe. Finally, you're safe. That is going to be what happens here, Mr. Perry, and nobody's gotten closer to that goal, sir, than me. When you poke, when you peep, when you creep, when you bother, when you harass, when you think you got to tell me how you feel or what you think, and you are not asked, you are told to leave. Don't complain when we get more and more and more and more. You guys can't stay off the phone. Don't give her money yet. We need you to hold her money up for a couple weeks. We need you to hold this up for a couple weeks. We need you not to give her her money. Lynn and Kathy, we need her broke so she'll subjugate. Real bunch of God-fearing sex perverts. God damn it, we gotta keep her money. Get the hay out of your mouth. Talk right. Get off the covered wagon, misogynist. We don't act that way now. We don't act that way now. You're not gonna be, you know, you're not getting away with it this time. And I said that 6 years ago. So when I repeat what you just said, the people that got me the Fabian puzzle get me what you just said. We're meeting the goal. We want to be the ones to stop you. You're the bad guy. And then we can tell your victims, you're safe now. You won't hurt again. Nobody has gotten closer to that goal than me. So you want to fuck with me again, Perry. Be ready to pay for it, because that is how you're paying for it already. You were told to fuck off. I don't like you. There's nothing to like. You're pathetic. You're ugly. You disgust me. You're creepy. You're disturbed. And we're all sick and tired of dealing with it. You're forcing yourself on me against my will. We're all sick and tired of dealing with it. Wake up. Wake up. Leave me the hell alone. Please, sir. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the hell alone. Get a grip on reality. I think you need to leave everybody alone, Mr. Perry. When you poke, listen to me, what I'm saying to you. Get the cause and effect, sir. When you poke and prod and creep and peep and hack and bother and cause one thing after another, you get told on and told on and told on and told on and told on because you're pissing everybody off. Please leave me the hell alone. Thank you. You're not getting away with it this time. You're not. It is hysterical you think you are. Mr. Perry, stop contacting me. You need to get some control over yourself, sir. Get control over yourself, sir. Thank you.